Hey guys, it's Luca. I wanted to make a video today. This is with Learning MTG, although this topic is a little bit different. It's not really about magic. I'm going to talk about Grubhub. I was telling my parents about how I do Grubhub and how I think most people do it very differently that are driving it. And they're like, that could be useful information, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, yeah, let me just put it out. I don't know if many people will end up watching this video, but I'll just have the content available. Basically, yeah, I think when I first started doing Grubhub, for those who don't know, the way Grubhub works is they give you orders and you can either accept or decline. Um, so you can accept, and you have like an acceptance rate. And I think there's two main ways to play the game. One is you accept everything. And the advantages to doing that are you're guaranteed a minimum rate. So in New York State, you're guaranteed like minimum wage, I think. Although I'm not sure if it takes into consideration like your gas and car costs and stuff like that. I haven't looked into that because I don't really use this strategy at all. You're guaranteed that. Some bonuses, you may get certain bonuses. There's certain bonuses that require you to have a certain acceptance rate during a certain time period. You get like a higher rating and you get higher levels. And then these levels allow you to basically get dibs on blocks. Okay, so if this is strategy one, strategy two is, don't accept everything. Um, but basically, this gives you dibs on blocks. And what a block is kind of like a shift. And so you can sign up for say like Friday night, 6 to 8 o'clock or whatever. And you get dibs on that block. Because once a certain number of people sign up for the block, then no one can sign up for it, theoretically. What I found personally is after the first couple weeks of using Grubhub, I never signed up for a single block. And I still don't sign up for any blocks. I just turn the app on and I get orders. And then when I'm done, I turn it off. I think the blocks are like super awkward. You have to finish your block. Like if I just feel like I'm done, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go home. I want to pee or I want to like eat something or just take a break. I can just do that. You can't do that if you're in the middle of a block without getting some kind of penalty. And penalties are generally like your rating goes down, and no one really knows what that does. It's all a lot of this stuff is like under wraps in some kind of algorithm that's going on in the background that no one knows about. But yeah, I just found very quickly, and maybe it's different for different people, but I just found like there was really no payoff to having a high acceptance rate and to having dibs on blocks. I never got anywhere near, where I would want to have a guaranteed minimum wage for each hour that I worked. You end up making way more, in my opinion, when you decline stuff, right? Because if you're offered a job that pays $10 an hour, you can decline it and you can take a job that pays $20 an hour. If you get offered something that pays you $15 to $20 an hour during like peak hours, you can decline it and take one that pays you $30 an hour during peak hours. So there's like a huge advantage to declining because you can basically say, no, I'm pretty sure I'll get a better offer within the next few minutes. And you don't get that advantage when you accept everything. So if there's one real big takeaway to how I do Grubhub, it's that I reject a lot of the offers. And I don't care about my acceptance rate at all. And I don't sign up for blocks, and I don't care at all about blocks. And I don't care about what level I am, or I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm sure there are other metrics that you don't get to see as a driver, which is like, are your customers satisfied? Are the restaurants that you do deliveries from satisfied? I'm sure Grubhub keeps track of kind of like error rates that happen. What is the percentage chance that you deliver the wrong item or forget a drink or something? I'm sure they keep track of the speed at which you do your deliveries. And so for those things, yeah, I do want to have good rates or good stats, but I don't care at all about it, my acceptance rate. So that's like the big thing. In my opinion, you end up making way more when you do that. So that brings you to the next question, which is, okay, but how do I choose what to accept and what to reject? And I think this is basically, it's going to come with a lot of practice. You need to figure out two things. You need to figure out how much does this job pay. So you need to kind of quickly estimate and calculate, like, how much am I making per hour on this job? And that depends on, how far is it from here to the restaurant? How far is it from the restaurant to the diner? And then am I driving out into the middle of nowhere? So is there also some kind of like return time where I have to like come back to civilization? Or am I driving to a good part of town? Like for me, like it's usually, if anyone knows like the Rochester area, it's good to be around like Pittsford, Fairport, more like Pittsford. That tends to be the area where you get like higher tips, but even it depends on the time of day too. So like, Pittsford at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday is going to be way worse than being in the city, because there's way more people ordering food and there's a lot more action over there. But if it's like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, then I'd rather be in Pittsford. So that's something you kind of learn. But in general, you want to be able to like calculate, and you end up learning certain things. Like you learn to never ever go to Taco Bell after 7 o'clock or whatever, right? Because past a certain hour, like when the sun sets, Taco Bell closes their doors, and then you have to wait in the drive-through line, which you'll never get out of alive. So that'll take a long time. You also learn like pizza places tend to be the slowest, or at least like the worst case scenario is really long. There's lots of times you go to a pizza place and they just put the pizza in the oven, and you basically have to wait for 20 minutes. Other places are really fast, like bakeries, or places that do like bubble tea or whatever. Like certain items are just so quick to make that the worst case scenario you have to wait an extra like 2 minutes or whatever. Certain restaurants, they only start making the order when you get there. For example, Wendy's is like that. McDonald's is like that. Five Guys is like that. They basically want their food to be as fresh as possible for the diner, for the customer. So they only start making it when you arrive. So one like little trick is you can click arrive as soon as possible, even when you're like, a minute before you drive in or whatever. You have to be within a certain range of the restaurant, but you want to click it a little bit faster, I guess. It might save you a minute. It's not a big deal. What else do you learn? Okay, so once you've gotten enough experience, you can kind of tell by looking at the job, like, okay, this job pays this much. It'll take me 20 minutes and I'll make, $8, so that's like a 24 an hour job. This job will probably take me like half an hour, I'll make $15, so that's like a $30 an hour job. So once you can estimate that, then you have to think about how busy are things right now. If things are super busy, then there's a good chance you can get a better offer, because if you decline this one, you might get like 5 different offers in the next few minutes. Whereas if it's a really slow time of day, usually the slowest time of days are like between lunch and dinner, like 3 or 4 o'clock. If it's like 3 or 4 o'clock, you may not want to reject this one because you may not get a better one. So you kind of have to estimate, what is the supply and demand of orders and drivers like right now? Are there a lot of orders and not a lot of drivers? Then you can be more picky and more choosy. And if there are a lot more drivers than orders, then you may not want to be so choosy. So it's really just getting a handle on like, and usually the way that I estimate that is just by how quickly my orders come in. When things are really busy, if you like decline an order, if you just turn on your app, you'll get an order in like 5 seconds. When things are slower, it might take like 5 minutes to get an order. And then there's like all sorts of gradations between. It might take like 30 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute. So I pretty much measure it based on that. Another way also is if Grubhub is offering, for the next 2 hours, we're giving you $3 more for every order. That probably means there's a ton of orders. They don't have enough drivers, so you can be more picky. Also, you'll just learn like certain times a day are really busy. There are like certain windows of the day where there's just everyone's eating dinner at the same time, and you can imagine, there's going to be so many orders, so many drivers. You're going to be able to reject this one. They're still going to have a ton of other orders to potentially give you. Another thing I guess I'll talk about. So every time you reject an order, it asks you why you reject it. I just always, as a default, say because it's not paying enough. I don't know how they do their algorithm, but it's possible that they've got some kind of like personalized machine learning thing where like depending on the person, they say, "Oh, Luca only rejects because of price, so we need to offer him deals that or we need to offer him jobs that pay more." Oh, this person, he just rejected it because his shift's about to end, or he just rejected it because he doesn't like going to that side of town. So next time around, we're going to not give him offers to go to that side of town or whatever. So in my opinion, you want the algorithm to think that you just want to be paid more. I don't know if it matters or not, but that's what I do. Trying to think if there's anything else that I've learned. I guess there's like certain things that some people want you to like. They'll be like, okay, pull in the door and then pull in the driveway, on the left side of the driveway, and then give me a call, and then spin around 3 times, and then touch your toes, and then hand feed it to me, and it's just like, dude, like, so sometimes you just like, I'm just gonna put it outside and then text them and say, your food's outside your door. I remember I had this lady, she like freaked out. She's like, I do not accept people leaving it outside my door. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is what I do every single delivery. So that was interesting. Although sometimes I kind of respect that because I think sometimes in the hood, like, people will steal your food if it's unattended outside your door. So if I'm in like certain parts of town, I'll actually be okay with that. And that can save you a lot of time, that sort of stuff. Also, just like gaining familiarity with all the different restaurants. You just learn like the ins and outs of like where to park, where is there like a back entrance, or knowing like how long certain places take. Yeah, you start to get a feel, even just like how to pack stuff up to put in your car, how to deal with lots of drinks. Like the worst nightmare is when you have like too many drinks because it's hard to like keep them from spilling in the car or whatever. This is all sorts of like little stuff you learn. But I think if I'm gonna recap, what are the most important things? Don't accept everything. And then just be picky when it's busy. And I'd say like just have fun with it. If you're the type of person that likes driving and likes listening to music, like just listen to some great music and just enjoy yourself. I remember in the beginning I was like, it was like a game. Like, okay, how much money can I make? And I'd go super fast and just try to like optimize everything as quickly as possible. But then now I just kind of chill out, and maybe it'll take me an extra minute or two every delivery, and I'll make a little bit less money, but I think the whole reason I do this is because it's relaxing. For example, Amazon Flex actually pays more money, but I've found that with Amazon Flex, it's like nonstop getting in and out of your car, looking for the package. It's like I found that for whatever reason that was like more stressful, even though it paid a little bit more, and I prefer Grubhub to that. Is there anything else? I mean, there's lots of little tips, but I don't think they're too important. I'd say like if you're someone who already does this, then definitely try like not worrying about blocks, try not worrying about your acceptance rate, and try like rejecting lots of stuff. Try different parts of town, and hopefully that works for you. I think you'll end up making a lot more money. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.